Hi, today I wanted to share the typical first session process that we go through for putting and putter fitting and assessment, so you've got an idea what it's all about and how it might help you. So there's a couple of key sections to it. One's going to be the screening part, there's eyeline and perception testing, and then there's going to be some data collection as well. So the screening process is adapted from Mike Adams's bioswing dynamics screening process. Now Mike Adams is a super smart Hall of Fame coach and he's put kind of 30 years of research into this system, and then the fitting system that feeds off that, because these guys kind of work together on this. David Adele, who's a fantastic genius club fitter and engineer, so both of these systems have many years, like up to 30 years research behind them, so it's a well researched and kind of founded systems. So we're going to run you through a assessment I did with a client recently and just show you what we found and again how that might relate to what you're looking to do with your putting. So the first bit of the screening, we do upper arm and lower arm. So this is the length of the shoulder to the elbow and the elbow to the knuckle, and the differential between those lengths, or if there isn't a differential, that's going to influence particularly on the slot that you may want the putter to sit on. Now the slot is the plane that the club would sit on at the beginning. So you could either have a shoulder slot where the club lines up more with your shoulder, torso slot, torso, or hip slot, which is more in line with the hip. So just a couple of quick examples. Sergio's a hip slot, Tiger's more a torso slot, and Jack Nicklaus was more a shoulder slot. So this will depend on your slot. This will influence the lie angle you want the club at the start. So in this example here, we had the upper arm was shorter by 1.5 inches than the lower arm. So this indicates that we're going to be more in a shoulder slot, and then that would typically sit into a lie angle around more 76. So second off in the screening was the wingspan versus the height. So in this example, wingspan is very slightly shorter than the height, and this is going to influence the posture angles, how much you might want to bend over or how tall you might be with your posture. So with the wingspan being slightly shorter, this means you need to bend over a little bit more to be able to get the correct putting posture to access your best biomechanics, essentially, which is really what the screening's all about, accessing your best biomechanics to move the putter well. Thirdly, the trail arm screen. So this is how your trail arm wants to move during the swing. So we simply clap your hands together and let you swing your left arm across your chest. And you can either be a side-on golfer, an on-top golfer, or an underneath golfer. And that relates particularly to your grip style and your release pattern. So in terms of a golf grip, a side-on golfer would be where the hand just sits pretty much side-on, quite very, very neutral traditionally in terms of the grip. An underneath golfer, the hand would be more under, and an on-top golfer would be more on top like this. There are variables in between, but we won't go too much into that today. So with this golfer, he was in a cover position, which means the hand's going to be rotated to the right-hand side of the grip very slightly. So the influence of that is going to be a little bit how you would want to release the putter, the direction the putter might travel back in. So this would typically make the putter travel a bit more out to in, and then you can offset posture positions and feet angles to adjust that or tailor that. So say if you wanted a more arcing stroke, then we could adjust that via your setup and your foot position and ball position to facilitate that. Then we get into the aim bias check and the eyeline perception test. So the aim bias check is where we get you to aim or feel like you're aiming dead over the middle of the hole. We're then trying to laser back off a mirror that we place in the middle of the putter. The laser shines back off the mirror here on to a surface where we can see the laser shining, so it indicates it'll either be over the middle of the hole, left or right, so it can show what type of bias you've got with your aim. Now based on that bias, we can select a certain head type in terms of a mallet head or a blade head, and different alignment aids. So no alignment aid is on this putter here, or you could have lines or dots. Again, this is more from the David Adele side now, and all that, the difference in the head type or how we design the head will influence where your putter aims, because the perception or how your eyes are drawn to, or where they're drawn to on the putter, and what the putter looks like when it sits, can either look more open, more closed, less lofted, more lofted. So all these things play into how you aim, which is obviously crucial, because if you don't aim well, very difficult to stroke the ball well, or stroke the putter well. And then secondly, the eyeline perception test. This is where we'd line 3 balls up, lined up with a laser. and then we get you to run your eyes down the line of the balls, and some of the ball, one or two of the balls may not look perfectly in line. If that's the case, we need to adjust your distance away from the balls. This helps us with distance away from the ball, and it also helps us with some of the body angles as well. So really what we're trying to get you to do is be able to see those three balls all lined up so you can see a straight line straight. If you can't see a straight line straight, or you can't perceive it well, again, very difficult to make a good putting stroke. And then finally we get into the Capto, or the data collection. So we hit some putts on the Capto system and get data on exactly what's happening with the stroke. And once we've got all these elements together, we can then formulate what your best posture is going to be, what the putter style and the putter fitting should be, and then we can adjust things as required to help the data and help the stroke improve. Okay, so that's pretty much our first session process. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer any of those. Please fire them over, but I hope this helps and look forward to seeing you soon.